Yo, FPL community, welcome to Proper Things, the FPL show brought to you by the TT FPL Pro-League, episode 22. And happy 2024 to all the viewers, and thank you for all the support and love last year in 2023. But with the turn of the year, we back to business. So while I hope everyone had a blessed Christmas filled with happiness, green arrows, had all the eats and drinks, it's time to go back to business, as I said. So 2024 and FPL has blessed us with an extra long game week in game week 21. Some of the games will be played on the weekend, while starting Friday the 12th, and will conclude the following weekend. So we have that extra long pajama game week to deal with. But here on Proper Things, we have you all covered with all the dilemmas you all may have. So we're kicking things off in 2024 with a bang, with a reminder of what happened in game week 20. So here comes the reviews for game week 20. So in game week 20, Chelsea narrowly survived the Alfie Mawson and Luton late show as they won 3-2. Aston Villa also defeated Burnley by the same scoreline, Watkins with 2 assists. Crystal Palace defeated the Honeybees of Brentford 3-1. 2 returns this game week though for the Honeybees. Manchester City, my boys, defeated Sheffield 2-0. Everton went down to the Wolves 3-0. Wolves on fire, one off the international duty now though. Nottingham Forest defeated Manchester United 2-1 to heap the pressure on Ten Hag, further disarray for the Red Devils. Arsenal also went down to the Cottagers. Just remember that Arsenal were top of the league at Christmas and New Year's. Now that fourth, haven't seen a fall like that since Rikishi of Hell in a Cell at Armageddon. So again, the Cottagers defeated the Gunners 2-1. Tottenham defeated Bournemouth 3-1. Liverpool 4-2 versus Newcastle. Trippier just not looking the same right now. And to close off the final game week of 2023, Brighton and West Ham played out a 0-0 draw. So Areola owners with the clean sheet they wanted. And that was the review of game week 20. Now with the reviews in the bag zipped away, we move now to the goat mouth segment, or the preview of game week 21. And to kick things off in this extra long game week, we have Burnley playing Luton on Friday the 12th of January. I expect this one to finish in a 1-1 draw. Chelsea and Fulham, I expect Chelsea to defeat Fulham 2-1. I also expect my boys Manchester City to defeat Newcastle by the same scoreline 2-1. Aston Villa versus Everton also ends 2-1. So some nice 2-1 wins there. Some teams, United and Tottenham for me play out a 2-2 draw. Arsenal finally get right and defeat the Eagles in a London derby 2-0. Brentford defeat Forest 2-0. Tony to do something, return his owners if you have the belly to bring him in. West Ham defeat Sheffield 3-0. Liverpool defeat the Cherries of Bournemouth by their favourite scoreline 3-1. And Brighton defeat Wolves 1-0. And that concludes the goat mouth segment for the first game week in 2024. And now we move into the Proper Thing segment, which I know everyone is hyped for. So now for all the new viewers, we reach the part of the show that is the most anticipated part of the show. It's the segment named after the show, aptly named after the show. It's called the Proper Things segment. Here we give you all the picks that should be in your team now and going forward with the Proper Things picks. We will move us for the aggressive players looking to rise rank immediately. Spilt milk means they have overstayed their welcome in your team and should be moved on. And the winnering picks are the players you should keep an eye on now with a possible move in the upcoming game weeks. So last episode, before the hectic Christmas period, I gave you all some players that you all should bring into your team during the hectic season. So let's look back and see how they did. Gave a dynamic duo. So we had 4 players. We had Pau Torres, Son and Richarlison, and Watkins up top. We only went 3 for 4 as Pau Torres was the only one that didn't really perform, was injured, and then when he played only returned 1 point. Last game week, Son and Richarlison 9 and 7 respectively. And of course, Watkins with the 2 assists to claim 8 points in the 3-2 win for Villa. So this game week, your proper things defender pick is a man who started off the season nuclear. He was a must-have, high ownership, but then he got hurt. He's back now. He scored 2 absolute blinders to announce his proper return. And I'm talking about the Ecuadorian Pervis Estupinian from Brighton, coming in at 4.9 million. I mean, Estupinian is as prolific as they came to start off the season. He plays in a Brighton team that doesn't really keep a lot of clean sheets, but we know how explosive of an attacking asset this guy is. And he's locked in the Brighton setup. Now, on Tuesday, at the time of recording, there is breaking news that Trent Alexander-Arnold is set for a little spell on the sideline, maybe 1 or 2 game weeks. So if you have the option of moving Trent on and you need a defender, I think Estupinian is the #1 guy to bring in. You could jump on the Ecuadorian train now and ride it non-stop till the end of the line, because he's in great form already. He's shown his fitness, and Brighton have an excellent run of fixtures. So Estupinian is your proper things defender pick for game week 21. Now moving into midfield, I have a guy who has a little injury worry for all his owners, who is also warding off potential buyers. I'm talking about the Englishman from West Ham in Jared Bowen. Bowen has been absolutely prolific as well this entire season. He's West Ham's talisman, and he just seems to find a way to get on the score sheet. He's returning at an exorbitant clip this season. Again, with the injury, there's a lot of worry on his availability, but he has the matchup versus Sheffield. And before the late injury in the FA Cup, he was my favorite captaincy pick for game week 21. But of course, with injury, there's worry, and we have to wait as long as we could to get as much information on Bowen. But as things stand, I believe he will play, as Bowen is a guy that hardly misses game weeks. But under the current conditions, panic and worry is warranted. So if you have Bowen, of course you stick unless we get news he's definitely out. But for me, with the form and the fixtures and with other fires that need to be put out in Son and Salah, Bowen is my proper things midfielder pick. Just had to hope that he pulls through the injury. And finally, in attack, I have a guy that just needs to be in your team now, and going forward, he's the definition of a proper things pick. And I'm talking about another Englishman in Ollie Watkins of Aston Villa, coming in at 8.9 million. 2 assists last game week, continuing his hot form this entire season. He has Everton this game week. Aston Villa have been on a tear as they are 5th right now in the Premier League. And I believe Ollie Watkins keeps the form going. Of course, some big hitters in Erling Haaland and Nkunku are injured. We have Tony returning who could bring a spanner in the works, but more on that later. But for me, game week 21, Ollie Watkins must have, get him in your team and hold him now and going forward. So he is your proper things forward pick for game week 21. And now with the proper things pick signed and delivered, we move into my favorite segment in the Shoots the Needle Mover category for my aggressive players out there who are looking to rise rank quickly, and these are the players that could give you that quick injection of points. And this game week, my needle mover defender pick is a guy who almost stole the show and the 3 points from Chelsea in Alfie Mawson of Luton, coming in at 4.4 million. Alfie is a guy who's aptly made now one of the purest crossers of the football in the Premier League. If you have seen this guy whip it in, it's a thing of beauty. And he's returned assists and bonus points at a nice clip, an exorbitant clip, especially for his 4.4 million price tag. Now, if you're a guy who has strength and is looking forward to bringing Erling back very soon, this could be a pick that helps you get that quick injection of cash and a needle mover pick for this upcoming game week as Luton play Burnley on January 12th. So this is a great fixture for Alfie, as a clean sheet could be on the cards for Luton, and the attacking threat that he provides could open up Burnley. So we could be on for a haul. So that's why I love Alfie as a needle mover pick, especially if you have Trent and looking to bring Haaland back, who I think doesn't play this game week, but the following game week, this could be a way to get that big injection of cash as well. So Alfie Mawson is your needle mover, defender pick for game week 21. In midfield, I have a dynamic duo of Diaz from Liverpool coming in at 7.3 million and Palmer of 5.6 million from Chelsea. And I know everyone will say Palmer a needle mover, and the answer to that is yes, as a lot of us, nearly all of us already have Palmer, especially earlier when he was cheaper, he got a haircut on that $5.6 million price tag. But right now, I have him as a needle mover pick because I don't only think he's essential, but I think he, as things stand, is one of the best captaincy options in the game. So a lot of players would look to Palmer if they're looking to rise rank, and especially if you don't have Palmer, this could absolutely wreck or damage your rank, sink you in game week 21. So if you don't have Palmer, you need to at least bring him in because this is a needle mover. Remember, needle movers supposed to help you rise rank, but this one could absolutely hurt you if you don't have him at all, because I think a lot of managers will be looking to Palmer, especially with the injuries, the trend, the concern over Bowen, Erling, and these guys, no Salah, no Son, could be a captaincy threat. So thus he's a needle mover in game week 21. And then of course Luis Diaz, as mentioned before, no Salah, no Trent. It's going to be a lot tougher than I first thought for Liverpool versus the Cherries this upcoming game week, but Diaz absolutely put on a show versus the Gunners in the FA Cup and brilliantly taken goal in the dying embers of that game. We know what this guy is capable of. Of course, he had a lot of off-the-field issues, and that's maybe affected his game, but last game was Arsenal, he seemed to be returning to his best, and Diaz at his best is a very dangerous guy. He's locked in as one of the three Liverpool attackers, and I think that we could be on for a Diaz masterclass versus Bournemouth, as I do expect them to win 3-1. So Diaz is a needle mover midfielder pick as well for game week 21. So Diaz and Palmer, your needle mover midfielder picks for game week 21. And finally in attack is a guy that has been away from football for a while, but some returns are bigger than others. This is like John Cena returning at number 13 in Royal Rumble to surprise everyone kind of impact. I think Tony is a guy in the striking department who could absolutely flip the narrative when it comes to the 3 striking system. If you're playing a 3-4-3, Tony is a difference maker on any given day and a needle mover in game week 21, as not many players will have him for this game, and they have an exciting fixture this game week. I think Tony could come off the couch, return and make a haul this upcoming game week. We know that he's locked in on penalties, seems to be in good spirits, also saying that he wants to stay at Brentford and help them fight that relegation battle. So he's locked in, and I think that if you have the ability to move on from one of your strikers and looking for a striker, it definitely has to be Tony. So Tony at 7.9 million, jump on the train now and ride it all the way to the finish line. He's going to move a forward pick for game week 21. And now that you all have the guys that could help you rise rank, we move now to the spilled milk segment, which is the segment that I give you the players that have overstayed their welcome in your team and need to be moved on ASAP, because oh boy, are they funky. They're starting to smell. In this game week, in defense, your spilled milk pick is a guy who has a fall from grace like no other. I'm talking about Kieran Trippier, now coming in at 6.7 million. Not too long ago, this guy was approaching the 7 million mark. He's dropped in form, dropped in price, dropped in ownership, and Newcastle looks like a little boy lost right now. Fortunately for me, my boys come to town. Hopefully we could pick 3 points, Man City versus Newcastle this upcoming game week. But unfortunately, I have to say to all the Trippier owners, it might be time to sell. Last time I said this though, he did return a haul, and oh yeah, it wasn't good, it wasn't smooth sailing after that. But I think the tires really turned, and at 6.7 million, Trippier comes in at a very high price tag. He's not performing well, and you just need to get rid. Maybe it's just time to sell him for a better option. Of course, no trend this game week, so maybe again all eyes on Estupinian, or maybe you go to one of the Arsenal boys. But for me, Trippier is a spilt milk defender pick for game week 21. It's funky in Newcastle, it's funky for Kieran Trippier. Must sell for me. In midfield, of course, there are two big names that have left for international duty, and Son and Salah also. Wang and Matoma also out. But the guy who I think is the guy that you have to sell in the forward, the human Son, unfortunately, coming at 9.8 million. Now, there's one downside for the guys who had Son from the very beginning and kept him. You have a lot of value tied up in this player if you got him at 9 million. As currently, he's 9.8. So you might be losing 0.4 million, which is a lot of money. But he will drop in price before he does return from international duty. So you will get a haircut on that $9.8 million price. The reasoning for selling him over the other assets is that Liverpool may have a double on the horizon, and you'll definitely want Salah for that game week. But also, with Erling, with Salah, as mentioned before, maybe you want a premium defender back when Trent returns. With the new pricing of these players, especially Tony returning, Son might be the odd man out if you're trying to have all these assets in a team, especially if you want Bowen and you don't have him already. 8.2 million, Saka already over 8.5 million. It's difficult to have all these players that you want, and Son may be the scapegoat. Of course, Spurs has been playing a very attacking football. You know, Son is going to be the focal point. I think you could pivot to Richarlison or maybe Kulusevski as a bigger differential. So Son for me is your spilt milk midfielder pick for Game Week 21. And finally, attack is a guy who I have been hyping up and been very excited to see finally play in the Premier League. But unfortunately, it seems that Chelsea has bought a cotton bag or damaged goods, as Nkunku now has a hip injury and is doubtful for Game Week 21. Sometimes, unfortunately, you just buy players who seem to be injury prone. I think Nkunku again will be on the shelf a little bit, so it's another start-stop. And if you have to have a Chelsea asset, it will be Cole Palmer. I don't think recommending double Chelsea attacking assets is the way to go or the way forward, because you know Chelsea has a very patchy form. So if you have to own a Chelsea attacker, it's Palmer, which means Nkunku is funky. So unfortunately, Nkunku is a spilt milk forward pick for Game Week 21. Sorry, Christoph, but it's funky. And now to conclude the first proper thing segment for 2024, of course, we have the wondering picks. These are the players you should keep a keen eye on this game week to possibly move in the upcoming game weeks, or players that need a little more scouting that you may need to move out of your team in the upcoming game weeks. So to kick things off, we have Saliba as your wondering defender pick for Game Week 21. I mean, Saliba is a linchpin in Mikel Arteta's Arsenal defense, but currently Arsenal have been on a skid and Arsenal have not been keeping clean sheets. Saliba is not really known for his attacking prowess, so if Arsenal aren't keeping clean sheets, then the bonuses and the holes are not on for young William Saliba, one of the best centre-backs in the world, I've been told. But against Crystal Palace, this is a great opportunity to see how Arsenal go, how the defense holds up, and this may push Saliba back into one of the other categories, like proper things category or the needle movers category. But right now, we need to keep a keen eye on Saliba and Arsenal's defense on the whole. So he lands on your wondering pick defenders list for Game Week 21. In midfield, I have a dynamic duo, a big player that is one of my favorite players, plays for my team in Kevin De Bruyne, KDB, coming in at 10.2 million. He's back from injury, but of course, there's the concern of Pep Roulette and how many minutes he'll get. I don't recommend bringing in De Bruyne off the couch for the game versus Newcastle, but I'll definitely be keeping a keen eye on to see how he goes. He may be an alternative if you're looking to chase points versus the Salah Son owners, and could absolutely help with that chase, as Holland is also returning, and you know what, De Bruyne is one of the best assisters in world football. So definitely going to keep a keen eye on Kevin this game week to see how he goes. And in midfield with De Bruyne is Eze of Crystal Palace, coming in at 6 million. A lower price tag, but just as explosive as the Burners. He's on set pieces for Palace. Again, a tough game versus Arsenal, but this is the best game to absolutely scout Eze and see how he goes. If he plays well and returns versus the Gunners, he's a definite candidate to bring in for the upcoming game weeks. But more scouting is required to see how the young Englishman goes. And finally, in attack is one of my guys, one of my favorite players right now in young, the Spider in Julian Alvarez of Manchester City, coming in at 7 million. And we're keeping a keen eye on Alvarez this game week, not because of his form or the team he plays for, but simply because we are now at the end stages of Erling Watch, as he is nearing a return. Of course, he's missed almost a month of football with the stress fracture. I don't think he plays versus Newcastle, but the following game week comes at the end of the month, January 30th, and I think Erling returns for that game. And with Kevin, Doku, and Erling all returning, there is not enough spaces to fit all these players, and Julian Alvarez may be the one looking from the outside, although Pep said in the past he's unstoppable. But definitely, if you have him, you play him, and you keep a keen eye on him to see how his minutes go, how he plays, and a decision will have to be made very soon on what to do with Julian. But this week he lands on the wondering pick list. So that concludes the first proper thing segment for 2024. Hope you all like the picks, and I hope that it provides green arrows for everyone involved. Now, I would very much appreciate if you could go down in the comment section and see if you like the picks, if you dislike the picks, if you have an alternative, or if you say, Mike, you're doing a mad thing to study in. I mean, I agree with anything. I appreciate all the feedback, and I'm looking forward to see what you all have to say. And while you're there, you could like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed as yet, as we have content coming for you all each and every week this year. So thanks again for all the support, and I'm looking forward to hear all your feedback for this upcoming game week. And now that I've given you all the picks you all need, you have one more dilemma that needs answered: who to put the armband on. And that's why now we move into a segment that I call the Captaincy Corner. I helped you all with those captaincy dilemmas on who to put the armband on. Here I have my 5 favorite candidates for the armband. So we starting things off at number 1. Currently, he has the armband for me, but that could change come Friday as he's an injury doubt. The latest news seems to say that West Ham have worry on if Bowen could strap those boots up for game week 21. So at the time of recording, if Bowen plays, he's my favorite captaincy option, but things are trending downward right now. Hopefully the stocks increase and we have better news by Friday, but as things stand, I believe Bowen will play and he's my favorite captaincy option, so he comes in at 1. At 2 is Ice Cole Palmer, the former Manchester City hitman, now playing his trade in London for Chelsea. And this is the thing: if Cole Palmer was an $8 million asset, there would be a lot less pushback on him being the captain. But when you look at a player that you've bought for around 5.2 to 5.67 million, putting the armband on in a game week that there's questions on the captaincy, a lot of you will be persuaded not to do it. But Cole Palmer is an exciting form. He seems to be the main man down there in Chelsea. The Nkunku injury means that the penalty dilemma that most of you all have should be nipped in the bud, as he should retain the penalty duties. And against Fulham, I think it's an opportunity to gain points if you have the stomach to captain Palmer. He's my second favorite option for game week 21 for the armband. At number 3 is a new remover pick, the Colombian Luis Diaz, playing Bournemouth. I expect Liverpool to win this game 3-1, so I expect goals, and I think Diaz will be involved. Splendid finish versus Arsenal. He's a needle mover for a reason, and I think he comes in aptly at 3 on this list for game week 21. In 4th, I can't really push the proper thing striker further down than 4th in Ollie Watkins. 2 assists last game week, 8 points for that 3-2 victory. This week they play Everton, who And now at the back end of a hot run of form, I think there will be goals for Aston Villa, and Ollie Watkins is the centerpiece of Unai Emery's team. I expect a return from him, but I can't put him higher than the top 3 assets that I have on the list in Bowen, Palmer, and of course Diaz. And finally, at 5 to round out the list, I have a guy that was not mentioned earlier. He's in a poor run of form, but at some point you expect great players to break the shackles, but I can't put him higher than 5. I'm talking about Bukayo Saka, the star of Arsenal. Arsenal have been trending downward, but we know that a win, we need to believe, well, Arsenal fans, that they will turn back the clock and have some kind of, well, upward tick. They need a win. I expect them to get it versus Crystal Palace. Starboy should be involved. He is the penalty taker, although he's given up some to Odegaard. So he lands at a 5 as the 5th best captaincy option at the time of recording. But I also have an asterisk here because, of course, we are on Erling watch. I do not believe he plays versus Newcastle, but at the time of recording on Tuesday, things could change when the Friday deadline comes. So if we have news that Erling is back in full training and is looking to return versus Castle, this may be an opportunity to bring him in and put the armband on before all the rest of your league mates jump back on the inevitable train that is Erling Haaland. So the asterisk there on Erling Watts. So Bowen, Palmer, Diaz, Watkins, Saka, in that order concludes the first captaincy corner for 2024. And now we move into the segment with the most banter. It's a group chat that never stops. I know that the Christmas period was hectic, but the banter was even more hectic. Of course, I'm talking about the race for the 10K. Here on the race for the 10K, we give you all the update on the TT FPL Pro-League table to see who is the leaders and how the table is shaping up. So after a hectic holiday into 2023 and into 2024, we see now that the new leader, FPL Trini or Salzburg lads, coming in with a 93-point game week and 1,247 points on the season, leads the way. Congratulations to FPL Trini. Salzburg lads just doing the business on everyone this season. And a quick look at his team to see who returned the 93 points. It's Ariola with 11, Walker and Polo 6 and 2. Luckily for us, Trent Alexander-Arnold, when the non-Trent owners are blank. Son 9, Saka 7, Palmer 18, Salah 16, Solanke 2, Alvarez, Captain 14, and Watkins 6. He left 5 points on the bench there with Gordon. So an impressive game week and an impressive season by Salzburg lads. FPL Trini leading the way in the race for the 10K after 20 game weeks. So congratulations. In second is the former leader, A-Wick by Andre Roberts, 90-point game week, 1241 on the season. Now 6 points off the new leader. I expect A-Wick and Andre to push back for that number 1 spot this upcoming game week. Sky Saw Redemption by Stefan Ramke soon. Haven Jota Clue by Aziel Kwashi and Gorilla FC by Nicholas Dingwell round out the top 5 leading the way in 2024 going into this upcoming game week. And then we see Bamboo United by Ricardo, Dr. Phil Foden by Capel, Everyone Loves a Fatty by Ryan, Midas Touch by Lorenzo, and Baruda FC by Shane Saka, rounding out the top 10 as well. So congratulations to the top 10. You know, I'm hoping to be up there with the big boys very, very soon. Now, you're having an amazing season. Well, congratulations to you guys. Keep it up. And I am excited to see who leads the way after this pajama long game week. So now we're looking at the table. We're not too far off. I see my cousin Nick Bando and Pelican Bay at 13, you know, rising the ranks. A big 101 game week and a even 1200 on the season. Daga FC climbing as well. 1195 on the season. The creator of the TT FPL Pro-League, Ezra, at 16, 1194 on the season. And a paltry 77 on Ezra. What went wrong this last game week here? Didn't close out the year good, man. Sleeping on the trigger. Move down there, you could see your boy there at 45, you know. Just stuck in the mud right now. A great game week 96 on the game week 11. 43, but right now in a gridlock there with players all around man with the same points. But we're hoping to get out the mud and to push up higher up the table. So now that you have your update on the TT FPL Pro League and the race for the 10K, of course we have to give out the Match of the Month award for December to the player who put up the most points in a hectic December month. Of course, there are a lot of fixtures. So now we're looking at the leaderboard for the 12th month of 2023. We're seeing that the Match of the Month officially is Havon the Jota Clue by Aziel Kwashi. 69-point game week, but a astounding 439 points in the month of December lands him the award. That just shows you the big lead he had coming into the final game week of December to put up 69 and still win by 12 points. So congratulations to Aziel Kwashi. Amazing December, capped off with the December Match of the Month award. In second place, we have of course, the leader of the TT FPL Pro League currently in Sasbus Lads, FPL Trini. 427 points on the season. The underdogs by my namesake, Burke Solomon, 426 on the season. Bull Market by Jonathan, 424. And Champion by Che, rounding out the top 5. So congratulations to Aziel again. Big movements in December. You know, he's in the top 10, I remember, in the race for the 10K. And we're excited now to see who puts their name on the Match of the Month award for January. A short turnaround in January and an even shorter amount of game weeks. So we'll see who wins in January. So again, final congratulations to Aziel on his December Match of the Month award. Well done. And that concludes the first episode 22 of Proper Things. Hope you all had fun. Hope you all enjoyed the episode because I had fun delivering the content. I know it's been a little 2-week hiatus from the content. You know, I had a busy Christmas period and also your boy was a little under the weather. But we back out 100% and we bring in the content quick fire each and every game week. So again, I would very much appreciate if you all go down in the comment section, leave a comment. It could be that you all agree or disagree, or you have an alternative pick. Just say you're doing good work or you're not doing too good, or you're giving me the work this season. I appreciate everything that you all have to say. Don't forget, while you're there, you can like the video and subscribe to the channel. You know, I appreciate all the support last year, but this year we come in bigger and better. So congrats to the new leader in the FPL Pro League, FPL Trini. Congrats to Aziel on winning the Match of the Month. And good luck and green arrows to everyone this upcoming game week. And I'll see you all in time for game week 22. And as always, do proper things in all walks of life. Stay safe and I'll see you.